So here it is, guys. Number 4. This is their first time seeing it. This car got shipped to us from Texas, brand new. I think there's 15 miles on it. We just got it back from the carbon shop, so we've got all the mock-up done. You can see how the car gets delivered to us to make sure everything is fit properly before we take it back apart. We're really excited about this one because we feel like this one is kind of even more dialed in than the previous. Not that there was anything wrong with the previous, but each one comes through, it seems like we get better time and time again. So really excited to see this. And if you guys can't tell, this is already a convertible. So this will be a unique one, as we have not done a convertible yet. But you can already see some of the carbon on it. This one's going to have the standard forged carbon hood. That will be exposed. This is our first one also that's getting this hood because the client wanted to retain the factory trunk. But other than that, everything else is going to be exactly the same. So we're going to pull it into the shop, start turning it back apart, work on our brakes, our suspension, exhaust, all the normal things, and get this thing ready for our client down in Texas. Let's get it in the shop. All right, guys, so catching back up with you, we've got chassis number 4 back in the trailer. We haven't talked much about it just because we've been busy with everything else, but got it back from the carbon shop. It looked great, showed you guys what that looked like. We got all of our wiring, our tub cutouts done, and now we're taking the car over to Higgins Marine Metals to have our titanium exhaust fabbed up like we have on the other systems, and drop this car off and then pick up chassis number 3 from the body shop as it's just finished being painted. So we're going to get this car unloaded and head over to Scott's and pick up the other car. So we got a busy day ahead. Let's start unloading. Have our pass-throughs done. We already did all of our wiring, which is hidden here in the crash bar, pulled all the wiring from the inside. This will be the first convertible to get our exhaust put on, so we think it's going to be a pretty sick setup when we're done. So we're going to start unstrapping it, get it inside the building for them. All right, guys, it's been about a month since we last did an update on our red chassis number 4 Project Vouno build. This is for a client out of Texas. As you guys can see, the car is fully painted now after the exhaust fab. We got it over to the body shop. Body shop did an amazing job getting this car lined up for us again. This was probably our best starting position where we were as far as our style lines and really dialing in how we wanted our fenders to look. So it required less work at the body shop, which is always a positive. But this is also the first convertible and also the only car to not run the ducted hood. Obviously, you'll see the prototype ducted hood on just for fitment purposes, but everything else on this car will be unique as compared to the other ones. This will stay gloss red, which I think is going to be a different look for us. Traditionally, we do satin colors, but now there's nothing left for us really to do other than get it in the shop. We'll start breaking down the brakes. We've got wheels, tires our exhaust to get back from West Michigan Cerakote, do all of our heat shielding in the back. We won't have to build the ducting for the front, like I said earlier. Our fender liners are intact. Install all of our carbon aero, and this car will be ready to get shipped to Texas. Obviously, we'll show you it as it's coming together and build up some excitement for our client to receive this still this summer. Welcome back, guys. We are catching up on our Vouno build chassis number 4. Obviously, it's the red car. We showed you this car come back from the body shop outside of the shop. Today, we've got it up on the lift, and Justin and I are going to get to work on the suspension and also the brakes. Obviously, we've got a little bit of ways to go, but we have all of the fenders in place where we want them. We've got a lot of the grille attachments to do. We have the hood on. We won't show you that closed until we're finished up, but obviously you can see on the underside, fully finished. It looks really good. But today, we're going to show you the process of the big brakes going on the car. Now, this car doing a little different. Instead of a contrast color, we are doing body color. So I think this will look really good with the car. We're going to do our bricks and forged wheels in black on this. So this will be more of a traditional car in a red-black carbon package, which I think is going to be kind of unique. Obviously, you guys can also see some of our, this is our waterfall piece that will go above the front splitter. And then these pieces, we've kind of been putting them on the car, and not many people, we haven't really talked about them, I don't think. These are our grille garnishments that are in our forged pattern that look really good with all of the stuff going on the front end. Obviously, our mirrors and the whole rest of the components that we'll be putting on the car. So after we get the brake package fit, I think we're going to move around to the back of the car and then remove the rear bumper. We'll actually show you how the full rear bumper assembly goes together, and then we move that entire package onto the car. So let's get started on the brakes and get these swapped. Hey guys, we got the stock brakes off of the car, and we want to just take a minute because we haven't showed a lot of this stuff off of the car. You guys have all seen our brake packages. They are the largest brake package for the C8 in the world. You can see our two-piece billet hat front rotor here. This is the Z51 rotor, so it is the better brake kit. But the magic really happens right here with our billet 8-piston calipers. Now, when we take these up here and show you what they look like next to the Z51, they really give you a gauge of the scale of how big this brake system really is. When we couple these with our wheels, I feel like there isn't a better rolling stock on a Corvette in the country, and it just creates a package that looks amazing. So now we're going to work on installing the rotors first. We will take off the stock calipers, plug those up so that we don't have brake fluid leaking everywhere, and then work on installing our stainless flex lines, and we should be good to go. So as we're working through our install on the car, guys, I wanted to stop for a moment here on the rear and show you guys the integrated e-brake setup that we do with our cars. So this is your factory emergency brake actuator, and then our manufacturer builds the correct internal system to utilize this rear brake as your e-brake as well. So traditionally, the factory car has it mounted on this side. When we mount our caliper, it will mount on this side in the proper location. Then we actually reroute our lines along the frame rail to come back in, and it plugs in right on the top right here. And that's how you end up with just one rear caliper in your e-brake all integrated into one. Another cool thing that we haven't really shown a lot of is we also have these anodized black billet brackets. So all of these brackets are built to order with our kits. These are what adapt our larger calipers onto our rotors. They're a really lightweight piece. Everything fits perfectly, no need for shims, and ensures a perfect operating brake setup. So I'm going to grab our front caliper and get this mounted to our bracket. Now, obviously, before we call this a wrap, we were going to attach the lines. We already have the stainless lines already in place, and then we will come through and torque these caliper bolts down for good measure. Then we're good to go. That's pretty much the finished product right there. Really great fit and finish, no shims, and it just built to order brake system. So while we're in here, though, I really want to show you guys something that you haven't seen before. And let me grab the light real quick. So we always talk about these, and if you want to swing around on the other side of me, we always talk about these fender liners. And a lot of people ask us, you know, why is the cost so high for a wide body? And a lot of it has to do with a lot of different things, but this is just one of the elements. If you want the best wide body, functioning, performing, looking, like the factory built it, this is a mandatory item, at least in my book. All opinion, guys run no fender liners all the time, but a properly built fender liner, when you're all said and done, should look something like this. Provides all the protection that the factory fender liner does. It closes everything off so you don't see any exposed stuff that is behind the scenes that you shouldn't see. Whether the car is aired out or static, we always run a fender liner. Takes a lot of time to build these. Our body shop does a great job helping us come up with solutions in here. And we're really proud of having a fender liner package on every single wide body. So just a little extra thing to show you guys while you're in here, checking out our brake package. Justin and I are going to go through now and torque everything down and start to bleed the brakes. So we've got all the lines connected. Everything looks tight, no leaks right now. So Justin and I are going to start bleeding the brakes. For all the C8s, we use the Motorsports power bleeder. We found this to be the most effective. We always disconnect the battery, obviously, before doing any brake work on the C8s. And this is really good at keeping air bubbles out of the lines. We've had really good success with it. We're going to be using the RBF 600 Motul fluid, which works really well. And if you want to track it, works well too. What we wanted to also show you is that thanks to our buddies over at Paragon, I work closely with Corey. He's a great guy. They provided us our lowering collars. If you want to come in close and take a look at how we lower cars that have the front nose lift suspension. So these collars, what they do is they allow us to remove the factory collar, bring the entire assembly down about 1 inch. They also make a shim, so if you want to maybe not have it as low, you can put a spacer in there and it won't lower the full complete inch, but we always go with the full inch. Works great every single time, no issues with the nose lift, mag ride, anything like that, and they work perfectly. So now that we've got the suspension all buttoned up and the brakes, we're going to work through the bleeding process, and then we'll actually be able to get the car down on the ground.